All right, let's talk about something real quick. Wasn't really planning on trying to find time with a regular work schedule to make videos today, but just so much going on. Wanted to try to get into the office and shoot you guys a video. So let's talk about a negative correlation of decoupling. I mean, we always talk about wanting to see Bitcoin decouple from major stocks and markets and do its own thing. But what about the idea that when we get really bad drawdowns in the regular markets or any negativity in the regular markets, Bitcoin crashes like crazy, and then you sometimes can watch it really each candle, you can almost have the S&P and the Bitcoin charts next to each other, like the SPX, the Nasdaq, even closely more correlated with the tech stocks at times. And you see, if you're getting green on the S&P and the Nasdaq, then you're getting green on Bitcoin. But it's almost like we're starting to see delayed correlations at some point. When you look back here on time wise, and this is zooming in on a lower time frame on the 15-minute, the S&P started going up after this it found this bottom this morning, and Bitcoin kind of did the same. It came up, and then look, you get a red one, some green, some red. You're getting some green, some red, but then you get a bigger push up, kind of a smaller push up percentage wise with Bitcoin. Then all of a sudden over here, I've got Bitcoin selling off when I still had the S&P 500 pulling up for a couple of candles on the 15. It looked even worse on the 1 minute and the 5 minute. There was several minutes of delay, and I would post those for you, but it seems that the way these programs run, that they don't like that low of time frames. It seems that the 1 minute and 5 minute charts don't want to be posted. So it seems that about as low a time frame as I can get you guys is a 15-minute chart. But it's kind of a delayed correlation. I mean, I'm seeing that the S&P is moving more consistently and first. I mean, obviously, I've said that the Bitcoin and the crypto markets follow the S&P. I've made a couple of videos on that and mentioned that. But I just see more up and a faster reaction moving up in the S&P than Bitcoin. And if you go back earlier in the year and you were to look at charts like that, you would see actually the exact opposite. You would get a very small move in the S&P, and then that was enough to send Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the rest of the cryptos just boom, boom, boom. They're all of a sudden off to the races and going because we got a little bit of green in the S&P and the Nasdaq. Now, not only are we getting a delayed reaction, we're getting less and less reaction. And at least on the positive side, when you want to see it. On the negative side, you continue to get huge drawdowns immediately with the S&P selling off, the Nasdaq selling off. So I just want to kind of bring up that negative correlation point for people to kind of take a look at. Beyond that, since I have both charts up, we could talk about that a little different from a different point of view, as far as just kind of catching people up on what they were looking at this morning if they don't have a chance to follow these things. We opened up pretty bad this morning. I was hoping to make a video earlier, but I was just too busy with work. When we dropped down and got below this line, I was planning on trying to get people a video to really be careful and watch out for this line turning into resistance. I didn't even get a chance to process that idea before watching it just blast right up through here and start gaining momentum back up into these areas. That also being said, with regards to Bitcoin, very similar story. You had a massive sell off. We found support down here in the 18.8 range, which also in a prior video, I tried to prep people for that with videos over the weekend saying that the bears were consistently walking us down all weekend, while we were also going into a week that was going to start with probably some pretty bad and negative news. So we did get that sell off. We did get that problem. And, Bitcoin just, from those levels had really strong, really immediate buying support, brought it right back up to the 18,979 or 19 flat, pretty much, if you will. And then we started going. If you look back a little bit before that, before markets open, we had a bit of a pump run up that also occurred in pre-market trading a little bit on the majors, but this ran all the way back up into it started having wicks up into the like 19,270 range. So once again, those trend lines that I was telling you guys about earlier in the week, like things like the 19,275 was originally, some sort of a bottom when people were trying to push the 19,3 level down, working from 19,400 being a top. Well, now, as I always tell you, if it's once strong support and then you end up on the other side of it, it's going to become strong resistance. So I'm seeing that we are grabbing resistance now in that 19,275 range. Once we break through it, you'll immediately have some, possible resistance and tops in the 19,325.50 range. But really what I would worry about is, that 19,4, 19,5 was a huge battle all weekend long with the Bulls and the Bears ended up winning. So if we follow through, with that kind of becoming, like I said, the longer something is support, then the stronger it becomes as resistance, you really start to run into that issue. And because, as I say, the NASDAQ, the S&P, the overall markets, Bitcoin and crypto are highly correlated, we've got now a really strong resistance line I'll be watching and worried about in the 3661 range on the S&P, or, you can call that 365 kind of range, coming up on the ETFs. So yeah, I'd watch these resistance lines. Sorry about the stutter there. I was watching things move on other charts and grabbing my attention. So anyways, I would definitely watch the correlation here for sure, but I would also just pay attention to the fact that sometimes when the S&P is moving up, Bitcoin is delaying a little bit, which could, from a trading point of view, maybe give you that split second to, make a move that's maybe a little bit more risky. Maybe you're on the fence with getting ready to make a buy, or maybe getting ready to, pull a leverage trade, depending on what type of platform you're trading on. And you see the S&P start to go green and Bitcoin hasn't reacted yet. It almost gives you a chance to jump in there and, try to make that reaction and chase the S&P, which it, for the most part, definitely does. It's just kind of funny to see a little bit of a delayed reaction on it. I mean, for instance, look here, you've got a 15-minute candle going green. You've got a 15-minute candle going green, followed up by a larger one that was green. We're starting at the top, same kind of thing, got very similar structure on Bitcoin. However, look back at the third candle, we were green and pushing up. This one was still falling. Bitcoin was still pushing down. So in this exact moment, when it pushed down into these wicks right here, while this was already green and pushing up, that would have been a great opportunity for someone to say, you know what, instead of being afraid, if they're just trading Bitcoin, if they're also watching the S&P, they could have said, oh, instead of, fearing I'm coming back down and testing this line or this line, and this is, not worth buying, I could grab this right here and go for it. Same thing again, as I was talking, Bitcoin starts pushing red and the bears are already reacting. The bears are already trying to say, oh, no, we're not allowing that to happen. We're pushing down from here. And the bulls and bears are fighting right now. Candlestick on the 15-minute is the 15-minute candle is red and looking to create a red hammer down negative candle. Just really fighting for that. While meanwhile, even though on the S&P we are shrinking a bit, and the size of the body of the candle isn't doing as well, it's still green. It's remained with the bulls in control. Whereas over here, the bears were just in control. This one just went back. Well, it's now red again. We're flashing red, green, but we have not seen this turn red. So I don't know, just, maybe it's nothing too important. And maybe at the same time, there's certain people who could say, hey, I'm highly leveraged on my trading, throwing in crazy positions on, trend lines, and I can use that to my advantage. And, that's the point of what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to give people some extra tools, and, anybody who hasn't had a chance to maybe spend some time charting or doesn't understand it, doesn't care for it, try to give them an update. Or people who maybe do but just don't have time, and they say, hey, I can do it about the same as that guy, I just don't have time. So maybe if I've got a moment and I can throw these together, if they help somebody out, I mean, that's the general idea, just everybody helping everybody out and trying to increase the amount of positive information that's out there. I mean, you know, these digital currencies and crypto and whatnot is really new to a lot of people. You just now are starting to have major institutions talk about, buying and putting it on their balance sheets. You've got Bank of New York Mellon, opening up crypto now. You've got BlackRock and Fidelity starting to move their clients and their customers into crypto. So, as we continue to have this become more of a trend, look what we got going on right here. Look at this red as I'm talking. Red over here, green over here, pushing up over here, pushing down over here. Just really strange correlation right now with Bitcoin. So, anyways, yeah, just back to the institutions are buying. Institutions have been buying the most during these dips, while everyone else has max fear and is selling. They're buying. I mean, they're buying your fear and your losses. So take that into mind when you maybe allow somebody to convince you that it's over, Bitcoin's going to zero, or my crypto's worthless. I mean, if you've got some highly speculative coins no one's really trading, or don't really have a good community, then you might have to worry about that more. But with your top coins, especially anything on Robinhood has a big enough following and a big enough reality to what they're doing from a business structure that these things aren't going to zero anytime soon. And you can try to use these correlations with the stock market to make you a better trader. And then, look at this. You've got it trying to hold at the top of this candle. We're already eating up the body of this candle with Bitcoin. So, yeah, definitely the moves down are instantly more dramatic. As I was saying, you see that, and they happen first. Bitcoin loses it first. But on the positive side, the S&P is leading and making bigger gains, and then Bitcoin will lag. So, yeah, not the decoupling loss of correlation that we were hoping for, but definitely starting to see some cracks in the system, if you will. All right, you guys, trade safely, trade wisely. Try to find some time to get you guys some better updates and some more videos. And once again, if you have specific cryptos or stocks that you're interested in and you would like me to specifically, try to throw you out a video real quick, or, send you, something, or tag you something maybe on another platform, just let me know. But for the most part, we'll try to, maintain staying on top of the major moves and on top of the major players that are creating those moves for everyone else. Regardless of what crypto you're trading, you are going to be somewhat correlated to the S&P, the NASDAQ, what's going on with Bitcoin and Ethereum for sure. So once again, you guys stay safe out there, and remember, capital preservation is most important in a bear